Hello my friends, how are you? Welcome to today's class. Hoy vamos a ver una parte, la primera, de la vida de Cristóbal Colón. Ejercicios de comprensión de texto y práctica de lectura siempre vienen bien. Y ejercitar el oído en cuanto al sonido es fundamental para manejarse bien con un idioma y aprender a pronunciarlo correctamente. Let's go! Christopher Columbus lived a long time ago in the town of Genoa, in Italy. Christopher had a brother called Bartholomew. There was a big harbour in Genoa, and the two boys watched the ships sailing in and out of the harbour. "I want to be a sailor," said Christopher, "and find a new way across the sea to Japan and India." "How do you find your way across the sea?" Christopher asked an old sailor. "We look at the sun and the stars," the old sailor replied, "and it's important to know which way the wind is blowing. Then we know which way to go." Christopher's father was a weaver, and he said to Christopher, "You must be a weaver too." Christopher was sad because he did not want to weave cloth. "I want to be a sailor," he said. "I want to sail to other countries." Soon he was a sailor and sailed to lots of countries. End of chapter 1. Después de haber leído el texto en voz alta un par de veces para practicar la pronunciación, vamos a responder estas preguntas. Les voy a aclarar que, por ejemplo, number 6, what did Christopher's father do for a living? Cuando hablamos de do for a living es qué hacemos para ganarnos la vida. Vamos a contestar estas preguntas and let's go to chapter 2. When Christopher Columbus was a young man, he went to live in Portugal. His brother Bartholomew lived there. He was a map maker. "Will you help me to make maps?" he asked Christopher. "I am a sailor," Christopher replied. "I want to find a new way to Japan and India by sailing west across the Great Sea." Christopher pointed to a map on the wall. "Look at this map," he said. "Some men say the world is round, but other men say it is flat. I think it is round. I want to sail across the Great Sea. If the world is round, I shall reach Japan and India by sailing west." "How can you sail to the west when you have no money to buy a ship?" asked Bartholomew. "I shall find somebody to give me the money to buy a ship," said Christopher. "Perhaps I shall buy 2 or 3 ships. Then I shall sail to Japan and India and bring back a lot of gold. I shall be rich." Christopher went to see the King of Portugal. "I want some ships," he said. "I want to reach Japan and India by sailing west." The king replied, "You cannot reach Japan and India by sailing west. There is no land to the west. There is only sea. I will not give you any ships." Columbus was very sad. He left Portugal and went to live in Spain. He took his young son with him. His son was called Diego. Christopher asked the king and queen of Spain for some ships. "I want to find a new way to Japan and India by sailing west across the Great Sea," he said. At first they said no, but the queen asked Christopher to come and see her again. End of chapter 2. Y acá tenemos el ejercicio del capítulo 2. Hay que poner true, false o I don't know, no lo sé. Sí, algunas que sea información que no aparece en el texto. Arriba tienen cómo lo tienen que poner. Mi gatita quiere aprender. T for true, F for false, DK don't know. Christopher went to see the queen again, and she said, "Yes, you can have some ships. You must find a new way to Japan and India by sailing west across the Great Sea." Then Columbus said, "You must make me an admiral. I must be called Admiral Christopher Columbus. And if I bring back a lot of gold, you must give me some of it." The queen was very angry, so Columbus went away. Then the queen thought, "Perhaps I am wrong. Perhaps he will find a lot of gold." She sent a man after Christopher. "Stop," the man said. "The queen will give you the ships. She will make you Admiral Christopher Columbus." Christopher was very happy. He went to a town called Palos, and there were many ships in the harbor. Christopher got 3 ships. They were called Santa Maria, Pinta, and Niña. The ships were very small, and people said, "Those little ships will sink on the great sea." It was difficult to get sailors for the ships. They said, "We do not want to sail across the great sea. We are afraid, because nobody has sailed across the great sea before. It is too dangerous. We shall all die." Christopher talked to the sailors. He said, "We all want to be rich. If you come with me, you will find gold. We will all come back and bring the gold to Palos. Then we shall all be rich." Christopher got 90 sailors for the 3 ships. There were 50 men on the Santa Maria, 27 men on the Pinta, and 23 men on the Niña. There was enough food on the ships for 1 year. Pigs and hens were taken onto the ships, and they also took sugar and meat and honey. They took barrels of wine to drink. At last everything was ready. Before they sailed, Christopher Columbus and all his sailors went to church. All the people in Palos went to church too. They all knelt down and prayed. They asked for God's help. Then Christopher said goodbye to his son Diego and to his brother Bartholomew. End of chapter 3. Y finalmente acá les dejo el ejercicio correspondiente a chapter 3. Se trata de unir con flechas. Puede ser que esta expresión no la conozcan. Arriba, change her mind. Change your mind es cambiar de opinión, ¿sí? Cambiar de idea. Como siempre, en la descripción buscan las respuestas correctas. Acá me despido dejándoles la tareita acostumbrada y los veré la próxima clase. See you next class. Bye bye.